Last couple of weeks were a hectic time for Transformers Sword Wars. There was the balance patch, which is admittedly extremely rocky, to say the least. It attempted to balance things out. It's didn't quite do that. It pissed a lot of people off. Now I did make a video about it, and some things were changed. Now in the meantime, I wasn't really uploading much. First off, I'm fatigued from the game. I'm playing some other stuff, right? I've been having fun with the Batman Arkham Origins, pretty much whole Arkham series, right? I beat Origins first because it's chronologically first, then went over to the Asylum. As you can see, decent amount of hours, then went to Arkham Knight, decent amount of hours over there, and also having some fun with Injustice too. But yeah, overall, yeah, I'm pretty much just bored and fatigued from the game and feeling a bit apathetic. But also I was playing around with some things, I was still playing and to kind of see how things are. And in summary, uh, it's slowly recovering. Basically, for events, currently, events suck. Pretty much especially when Ancient God Neptune were used massively, mainly for events, especially. They were nuked, so unfortunately, we will get to that. We will get to that. But yeah, but for wars, if you do not have to rely on Leo Prime, Predacon Inferno, Optimal Optimus, and Transmetal to Megatron, if you are good without those bots, then wars are easier for you right now. If you cannot play without those bots before they were nerfed, then wars will be harder for you. So definitely try to learn to play without them. I have plenty of videos that I really didn't even use them that much. So yeah. Anyways, now let's get over to some of the stuff that happened. So about 2 days ago, they nuked Renation's 5-star ability, even more nerfs, right? Basically, it is no longer able to damage HQs in elimination mode. The elimination mode is super tiring, super burnout, that type of game mode, and now they made it even more burnout. Terrible idea. They also made decoys unable to cast abilities. Okay, whatever. And okay, Campitron. Okay, now this was a terrible idea. So of course I gave it a thumbs down. Like just terrible. Okay, no way around it. Now this one is actually good. Basically, if you want something buffed, of course there is a chat on Discord in the official server for the buffs. Of course, they say some rules focus on 5 stars only. Again, I'm gonna go over it briefly, but you can feel free to read the whole thing. Plus one suggestion proposed, don't use suggest reworks because, adjust things like cost, damage, etc. Numerical values. And use examples of what these things. Okay, here we have tracks and cutout and the skins. Okay, I don't really care about that much. I'm absolutely not paying cash for that. No. Now, here we have Dale say some very interesting things. Thanks everyone for your patience so far. I know this balance patch has been rocky and we are keen to put things right. Our goal is to allow more bots to become usable in the meta, and we do understand there is a middle ground that we can take. Ancient God Neptune, we are reviewing this design and an updated design will come into playtest today. All being well, I don't want to make any promises, but hopefully we can get it to you as soon as possible. We are reviewing the shield and the 5-star and 8-star, all which have been your biggest pinpoints, sure. Other changes, Ultramagnus health buff, okay, very nice. Optimal had a cost reduction to 6+2, okay. It's helpful, it's not perfect, but it's gonna help him out. Again, he is just not very war friendly. Now, I guess he's okay for... I'm not sure. He does high damage, but his range is teeny tiny. He's not practically useful, right? And Blue Stick Wildrider had a cost reduction to T+3. Okay, much better and much more in line with things. So I guess we're having something positive. However, just give me a moment. Okay, here we have another post from Dale that came out, and so this is a longer one. Hey, the past few weeks have been rocky. Definitely, Dale, I agree with you, it was extremely rocky. We hear you and we want to start by saying sorry. This latest patch was the first of its kind of our current team, and while our aim was to refresh and rebalance the game, we know some changes landed far heavier than intended. Yeah, definitely. We want to be crystal clear, our goal is not to get the characters you've spent years playing and investing in. Well, good idea, because people are charging back, you know. People are extremely pissed off because how it was handled, but okay, let's keep going. We understand the time, effort, and money that's gotten into building a team. Thank you if you really do. Finally, it was needed. It was really needed, because in this game, upgrading just one bot for average player, average Joe, okay, and average player, it's difficult, okay. You know, my main account, you know, I don't spend that much, but I do pretty much hunt deals, pretty much like Combiner Gate and things like that only, and Cyberpass. But on my side accounts, alt accounts, I have two. One at 18 and one at 17, and it's hard if you're free to play, especially, man. You know, I sometimes occasionally do spend there as well, but a little bit, and it's hard for an average player, definitely. This hit a lot of players really hard. But okay, let's keep going. Yeah, we're not here to make them sit on the bench. Okay. When something gets hit too hard, we'll work to adjust it quickly. That's what we're doing right now, tuning things back up so your favorite bots still feel great to play while still keeping the game healthy and competitive. Finally, well, exactly what I was saying. You could have instead done healthy nerfs. You know, Leo Prime, for example, Optimal Optimus, right? They just need certain adjustments. They were good. And they could have been nerfed, but balanced, and still Prime League meta. That was possible. I told them about everything, yet fortunately it was not acknowledged at all, and we got instead what we have. You know, but yeah, finally. Okay, but okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. I know that we may not land with this perception right now, but I hope over time we set that precedent of, okay, they over-nerfed it and I know they'll fix it. That's gonna be hard for players to believe. Now, I do kind of partially under believe that, sort of. You know, I guess it also helps that I feel very apathetic towards the game. Like, as in, I kind of don't care anymore. But okay, hopefully. I mean, it depends on developers entirely for players to have this perception. That's entirely for the developers. But okay, let's keep going. The balance patch vision has always been balance, not replacement. Well, thank you. That should have been the point whole time, you know. Currently, it was a placement, absolutely. If you don't want the game to revolve around one combiner, okay, that's fair. One Titan or even four bots. Yes, that's very fair. I agree with this. You know, game was definitely revolving around those things, and you could have nerfed them so they're as good as others, just not super exceptional must-haves. You know, they could have been good, healthy options for healthy meta team for in Prime League hard mode. They didn't have to be broken, you know. They weren't just meta, they were beyond meta, okay. They were broken as hell, and definitely they needed nerfs, but those nerfs should have been done smartly, like I was suggesting months ago, okay. But okay, let's keep going. We want the entire Transformer Circle roster to feel exciting and worth chasing, no bad pull kind of thing. Everyone has a use, and that does mean giving love to older, overlooked content as much as refining what's currently dominant. Yeah, I agree. Okay, this is fine. This is good. This is good. Those are good words, but will they be made into actions? Well, that's something that we still have to wait and see. You know, I always say, you know, in pretty much every aspect of life, watch what people do and not just what they say. Words are cheap. You know, I can tell you that I'm gonna give you $1 million in the next video giveaway, but I don't have to do that, you know. Again, words are cheap, but actions, well, I never even had 1 million in my lifetime, let alone. So yeah, that's the point that I'm trying to make. So okay, big words, and I hope that they will deliver, because they really have to deliver now. We also recognize that some strategies like using Renation and God Neptune for fast event clears were never their intended purpose, but if faster events are something you want, we will explore ways with the team to make that happen without forcing you to abandon the tools you enjoy or spend more money to do so. For example, let's take a look at the last Titan event. You know, usually for Metroplex I did, you know, 125k, you know, I spent like what, $40 maybe for that event. Now I only scored 50k. Yikes, what did you do? You know, and this is what I feel. I am pretty much, I'm not the only one who feels that way. You know, usually when I'm playing events I also want to level up bots for XP, you know, and that's kind of hard. You know, before you could go and pretty much finishing a Neptune at a decent level would solo an entire zone, and you could just deploy one bot to, farm XP. That was the fastest method to farm. Now, unfortunately, this combiner sucks for events, and I think that the revenue that they obtained is starting to hurt. Speak with your wallets. Again, what I say, if they don't listen to words, speak with your wallets, always. Not just for this game, but for every sort of whatever market that you are, speak with your wallets. Your feedback these past days have been tough to read, but also honest, and we appreciate it. You've told us what matters most to you, and we're listening. We're committed to finding that middle ground together. What balance updates still happen, but the content you invested in remains fun, powerful, and worth playing. It's late, okay? I hope I'm not repeating myself too much, but I hope you get the picture. For future balance patches, we'll open discussions earlier and take a far better approach than we did this time. But actions speak louder than words. Yeah, what was I just saying, right? So here's what's changing right now. Reload your game to see them. Ruination and God Neptune. At 2-star skill, they're getting a damage reduction, basically 60% uptime. Okay, I'm not sure how much. I guess it's the same amount as before. And I do not remember how much it was because it was changing. But okay, it will help. It will help. The 3-star ability, basically the big AoE, has a 17% increased cast range. So only cast range, not also the additional radius of the splash. It's an improvement. It needs more, but okay, it's an improvement. It's a step in the right direction. It's also better that you do not change how he is being played, because people are used to how he played ever before, and it worked. Numbers were too high. You could have just kept him as he was before, just tweak the numbers, okay? 4-star God Splitter had a 15% damage increase. It needs more than that, okay? 3-star skill, all skills need more than that, but okay, it's better than nothing, but they need more. And 5-star ability has decoys, basically have stats from 30% up to 40%. Okay, it will help, and we will continue discussion on 5-star ability. Okay, I guess they will, take a look at it at better, and they should. Again, the buffs that I said, about Ultra Magnus, Optimal, and Blue Streak, okay, and that's very nice. Yeah, it's good. It's a lot of promises. And I hope that they deliver, because really, at the end of the day, this game is made for us, the consumers, the players, and if we are not interested, there are countless other games to play. Like I said, I have whole freaking Steam library, right? I got a ton of games. Wait, just from Steam recently. I also purchased for the sake of nostalgia, PlayStation 2, the fat model, the 50,000 series, the best, quote unquote, because you could do a lot of things with it. So there are games to play, there are things to do in life other than games. So yeah, again, this game, it's for consumers. So if we are gone, well, sorry guys, but I honestly, this will hurt developers more than the consumers. Really, this is developers' jobs, so they have to do a good job with it, really. And I hope that they will deliver, because this is serious. This isn't about some buggy Clash of Clans with robots type of game. It's kind of this guy's job, so they should really do a good job and appease the audience and players that are actually spending money and playing their game. They should have respect for consumers, and I hope, again, those are big words, and I hope that they deliver. So loot link also exists, so he created a loot link. So guess there's this QR code. Okay, I guess you have to scan it, so I guess you need two devices. Maybe you can use an app that you can just download the picture, and I admit it's a bit inconvenient. I hope this will make it into newsletter as well. But yeah, okay, I guess maybe I can scan the QR code and share the link down in the description of my video, so you can claim it that way if you do not have two devices or whatever. But again, so yeah, and also rewards are really good. 100k premium shards. Okay, that's 100 premium crystals, 100k spark, and 10k shenix. This is good. This is good. I'm gonna give them a thumbs up on this one. Yeah, it's good, it's healthy, and yeah, please, you got to do the good job with this one, man. And yeah, like I said, I wanted to refrain from doing some ranting. I don't really like that. You know, a lot of people say that they like the part of my basically, I know I had one guy say that if he wanted to listen to constant ranting and complaints, he would listen to his mother-in-law. And I really, you know, I understand the sentiment completely. So I want to keep it complaint-free as possible and kind of give constructive criticism. You know, hey, this is good, this is bad, this can be improved. This is, you know, etc. You know, constructive. You know, we are adults here for the most part, and those who are not, well, we should definitely again not be like toddlers in certain sense, because a lot of people are crashing out and writing some terrible things uh, about the game, and I understand the sentiment, but again, um, I think this can absolutely be resolved in a very very clean and professional way. Well, you know, without, you know, sending developers threats and things like that. You know, that's just not good. But yeah, okay, I guess that's pretty much it for this video. I'll try to upload a little bit more. Again, I want to cover some things, especially to help people adapt. But again, I'm also, besides playing other games, I also kind of, I was still testing things, you know, and I personally have adapted perfectly fine, because even before the balance patch, I wasn't, again, those firebots were a huge crutch, and I didn't want to rely on them, not even combiners. So I will share definitely some of the strategies that I've been using and to kind of help you out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.